Additionally to being one of the foremost bat makers in the UK, you obviously sponsor Tammy Beaumont, who's one of the leading cricketers in both the women's game but world cricket. What involvement does she have within the development of Rangers? And for other players that are sponsored, what involvement do they have also?
With Tammy, Tammy Beaumont's been with us, I think she was about 11. She's a little bit older than me, I think she's 29 or 30. Because she's quite short, she's 5'2", 5'3", she gets one of our bats with just the handle trimmed down a bit, and I think maybe a tiny bit off the shoulder, but it's still a senior width. You know, it starts out as one of our senior bats, but it's just made slightly shorter, and we just try and create the biggest driving area or middle position swell for the weight. She likes it quite light. She is quite strong and quite powerful with some of the shots that she's played, but she's got a weight working range, I think, between about 2.6, maybe a touch heavier now, so 2.7 to 2.9, somewhere around there. So still on the lighter end of the spectrum. But we just try and give her the biggest, shape possible. She's not very picky on shape. She doesn't say, I want this, that, and the other. But we try and make sure there's at least a nice looking bat. If a camera's ever up close, you want to have a nice sort of clean grain, straight and even, something that looks like a pro bat, more often than not. Because, we're working around the workshop. There are sometimes some absolute gems in grade 3 and they'll do the job and they've got about 6 grades. But, pros get picky in around the dressing room. That's the one thing. She's not fussy at all. But I would say that she's definitely very easy to work with because she just asks for a bat. She doesn't say, I want this shape or X amount of grains or however. She's not difficult at all compared to some cricketers I've heard from other brands who demand X, Y, Z with their bats.
Being such a big player within the international game, what impact has she had on the brand and also inspiring younger players?
I think Tammy's had a big impact in terms of county cricket for younger cricketers, and especially younger girls as well. People coming into the workshop, they say, I want the stickers that Tammy's got. Or sometimes, we've made a bat for her and it's ended up to be too heavy. And we just have to cast that to one side, put it into storage, and someone works into the workshop. And by and large, if someone comes to visit us, they're not going to get a bat on the day that they arrived. But sometimes it's a young academy player, it's about 14, 15, similar sort of height, maybe a little bit taller, a little bit stronger. And we go, look, this was meant for Tammy, but it's too heavy. And it's a sort of an intake of breath. And it's like, do you want Tammy very much bats? So I think she's probably inspired a lot of younger cricketers to get out there and get batting. I think especially in around this area. And last year she did a lot of events where around she lives. I think she did a couple for her club, Sissinghurst. And then she's sponsored, her main sponsor, JM Finn, one of the guys that runs that company, also gets bats from us. And his son is in the Kemp junior section. He's got 2 boys. And that helps as well because there's a story there. It's all kind of intrinsically linked a little bit. But yeah, I think she's definitely had an impact on local cricket and more and more Kent girls playing. Yeah, there's so many junior cricketers now, especially in the Kent setup and in the girls setup, using our bats. And I think Tammy's probably had a contributing factor to that. I wouldn't say it's the only one, but yeah, it has certainly helped. And it's nice to have a Salix at the top of the order in an England shirt.
And is that the vision for the brand, I guess, sponsoring players from a young age and having a great involvement with the youth setups? Is the vision for Salix to sponsor a lot of international players in future, or actually guide them through their development like you did, I guess, with players like Sam Northeast?
We're such a small company that trying to sponsor a Chris Gale or a David Warner or a Joe Root or Ben Stokes or whoever would bankrupt us. And the demands would be massive because, you know, we'd have to make 20 bats for one person or something, and they'd probably all be sent back and said they're wrong, or they don't play as well, or the wrong weight, or they're you know, whatever. So we've always looked to support local cricket, good developing local cricketers, but our sponsorship scheme is used by a variety of cricketers. We're not just to Kent. You know, there's some people up in the Yorkshire leagues and in as far away as Scotland using our stuff. So I think because we're quite small, I think we like to stay within this country, because once you start sponsoring players from West Indies or India or Pakistan or somewhere, the shipping costs for us are sky high. And then if they break that bat, to then get it back to the UK or repair it or just send out a replacement, is really not very cost effective at all. So we like to stay within the UK, and anyone that is a good developing cricketer. So we have a scheme that's on our website. All details are on there. It's called the S3 scheme, and it's all based around pathways. So it starts off at district and then goes all the way up to county second 11. So the better level you play at, the more the rewards are from us to you.